Yeah.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone, and thank you ever so much for watching back on this recording today. I am delighted to be able to introduce one of our new partners who has some really exciting news for those of you that are based in the West Midlands. Richard Cawton and I have met many, many years ago as part of our networking community, and he's worked many years now within the transportation sector and has recently moved to Transport for West Midlands and has had this wonderful government grants that have been given to be able to help us promote bus transportation across the region. And it's a fantastic initiative, which some of the members who we've already reached out to have been really excited by this. Some of them are already taking part right now. And it's really easy and simple to set up, and it's so accessible for so many of your employees and colleagues across the region to be able to get to work. I've worked in some places before that don't have the very best transportation links, and it's been quite challenging sometimes to be able to find great talent. And in the cost of living crisis that we have at the moment, this can be a real lifeline, a great way to help the environment as well. So I hope I've done that justice, Richard, by giving a bit of an intro that way. But how are you doing? How's things?
Yeah, all good. Thanks, Dan. And yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head there. So it'd be good to let everyone know, how their organisation and how their colleagues can benefit from this. So the scheme or the programme has just gone from strength to strength since it was sort of launched in early 2024. It's government funded by Department for Transport. It was initially called PIP, the Passenger Incentive Programme, whereby all regional authorities were given X millions of pounds each to invest in their bus network. So in terms of sort of infrastructure and road network, but where I come in is a certain amount of that funding is pushed to us or to my team in this case in order to increase patronage on the bus network and to draw new users or lapsed users back to the bus network in the West Midlands. So this is a government funded programme. So, it is as good as what I'm about to say sounds. And just this, Dan, I think when we met about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think I just told you we'd hit 6 million individual journeys on this programme so far. Update 6.6 million as of this morning, because I do the figures every day.
Yeah.
So 6.6 million individual journeys. And I mean, we're dealing with organisations of all shapes and sizes. So it's your SMEs and right through to all of the largest employers in the region that you can imagine, all of the household names. We're supporting those, your NHSs, all the universities, your JLRs, your Sainsbury's, Brindley Place, Paradise, Colmorbid, BT, Deutsche Bank, EY, I could go on. Those are the big fish, but we also work with lots of smaller organisations. There are two ways that we can deliver this funding. The first way is through a group or cohort known as modal shift. So these are the people that aren't currently using the bus or are lapsed users. So where most of the audience watching this now will probably fall into modal shift, i.e. we're trying to get Daniel out of his Audi onto the bus network, travelling more sustainably. So that's the modal shift element. But a lot of the crossover work that PA Forum members might also do might fall into excluded access, which is the other category. So this is supporting people that sort of are most in need of bus travel support. Could be through domestic violence or homelessness. They could be NEETs in the case of young people not in education, employment or training. There are various organisations, numerous organisations that we work with to support individuals and groups that are termed excluded access. So if you're working with or alongside charitable organisations where sort of the end users or groups of people are people suffering hardship in any way, then we also support them under the scheme. But I think for the purposes of today, we go back to modal shift. because the organisations that the membership sort of works for and with are going to be largely modal shift, people travelling to the offices, people working remotely as well. And quite often, Dan, the question comes to me from, these big corporate organisations. Well, we're only working, 2 days a week in the office. Well, that's absolutely fine because they can't mandate people to come back to the office 5 days a week. But a lot of them have said that this program actually encourages them, incentivizes them back into the office, maybe more than they otherwise would,
Yeah.
And plus, through the delivery of the program, because the ticket is a 24/7 ticket, you don't just have to use it for your daily commute. It can be for any activities that you choose, through the working or non-working week. So it can be for social activities or whatever else.
Yeah, so I think, and I didn't know that as well. It's just that's fantastic to hear as well, because again, it just shows how much the company is trying to support their workforce and their colleagues. So the reason we partnered together was the people that ideally you're looking to talk to. Who is it when you go to an organization? I know obviously you're dealing with different shapes and sizes and sectors, but typically, who are the people that are interested when you kind of reach out and you get that? Who are the people that are interested to learn more about this?
Yeah, and I think we said this before, didn't we? That there are probably 90 odd out of 100 people within the business. If I was to send sort of an email or drop a cold call in, it probably wouldn't ring their bell. But once I start getting through to benefits and rewards managers and operations managers, normally benefits and rewards managers or sustainability managers are the big ones in any organization. Whereas if they hear this, or were to receive this, and I will follow up with an email that will sort of top and tail everything that we're about to talk about. Um, they're sort of that would ring all the bells for them because, or from an organisational perspective, implementation of this program helps them to achieve their green goals as an organisation, in that they are encouraging and helping to incentivise their colleagues and employees to travel more sustainably. Definitely will save them money as well. And it's all about active travel. So there's an element of sort of health benefits to be had there. The
Yeah.
successes of each campaign that we spin up for each of your membership, what comes off the back of that is that the data dashboard that I have access to tells me in great granularity how many people picked up on the scheme, how many people have travelled, how many individual journeys, how many people bought onwardly, and all these sorts of data sets that feed
Yeah.
into the green plans of an organisation.
Yeah, 100%. So I think for those of you watching, you could be the person that kind of unlocks that access or that door to that particular person. For PAs, sometimes I also think that we're saying nowadays that you need to. It's great to think outside your role and think of the things that you personally can get involved with. So this could be an initiative that you're quite passionate about, or something that you want to champion within your own organisation. Office managers, if you're watching it, then it could be something around the whole office ethos and how people get to work, etc. So there's lots of different benefits of different people. If you're a virtual assistant watching this, you could have clients across the West Midlands who might be interested in this program as well. Now, what I think was really interesting, Richard, when we spoke, was I said, what are the objections that you get to this program? And I think you said none, because no one's said no, have they?
We're pushing at open doors because once I explain that this is a government funded programme, I represent Transport for West Midlands, which is part of obviously the West Midlands Combined Authority. There's an element of responsibility and weight that comes with that, and the fact that it is government funding. There are rules around the scheme and who is eligible to receive support under the scheme. So all of your organisations are pre-approved in the sense that we're looking to modally shift your colleagues onto the bus network with free and discounted travel. So yeah, often people are like, what's the catch? How much is it going to cost? There isn't one. It's not going to cost you anything. I provide all of the material that you're going to need. So in terms of what we ask of you, in terms of your time and admin is minimal. You pretty much press send on the material that I would send to you, or ideally, if you can connect me to your sustainability manager or benefits and rewards manager, I will provide them with the collateral and they will launch it to the staff. At that point, they just switch off. It's very hands off for them, and they just wait for me to feedback on the success of the scheme, basically, Dan.
So we've got, I know we won't ask her to talk on camera, bless her, but we've got Nicola on the call today from Gleeds, and perfect example. So I think, when did you start speaking to Nicola, Richard? Was it?
I spoke with Nicola on Friday. I think it was. We got a date in the diary for Friday just gone, bearing in mind what are we now, Tuesday. We launched Nicola and Gleeds on Monday. So, well, and I mean, we launch most organisations probably next day or
Wow.
two, because it's pretty quick and slick. And with 6.5 million journeys under, you can imagine we've done a lot of this. So it's bread and butter for us. So we can launch this pretty quickly and without too much noise and fat. So yeah, we met on Friday, launched on Monday. We launched today actually. The web form for applications opened at 8 a.m. this morning. Normally, we leave that open for a period of 14 days where all of Gleeds colleagues can apply to the programme. Once they've done that, on day 15, we process everyone, and we start to get their Swift cards out to them, which is preloaded with, and we haven't discussed sort of the product that's available to you guys yet, but 4 weeks free travel basically is the headline. Maybe we should have said that at the start, said 4 weeks travel, come and get it. So yeah, the period of support that we can offer to modal shifters, if you like, for want of a better phrase, is 4 weeks completely free travel on the nBus network, which is all of Birmingham, Solihull, Black Country, Coventry. All bus operators are signed up to this programme. So whether it's Landflight, Stagecoach, National Express, Kev's buses, who do exist, they run round by me. All of these operators are signed up to the scheme. And it's 24/7 access to the bus network. It's not only sort of off-peak travel and all that sort of stuff. So it is a 4 week
And
ticket.
after the 4 weeks, Richard, what happens? What happens after the 4 weeks? So you've had all your bus travel free for 4 weeks and
Yeah.
24/7 for those people that sign up to the program within the business. What happens after that?
So the idea behind the program is that the 4 weeks is to get people sort of familiarised with or inducted to the bus network or introduced to the bus network. There's lots of material that we send through to the end users once they're sort of up in the program, if you like, that sort of tells them how to get on the bus, how to flag one down, how to look at timetables and all these sorts of, because a lot of people don't realise or understand or know how to do this, and that's often the blocker too. So the 4 weeks is designed to get them sort of initiated with using the bus network, and then what happens is there is an optional discount. So say, for example, Daniel, towards the end of week 3, Dan's going to get an email that says, "Dear Dan, you're on week 3 of your 4 weeks free. Do you now want the option to buy another 4 weeks at 25% discount?" At that point, Dan can walk away. We're not going to charge him for the 4 weeks if he walks away. He's been inducted to the bus network, and we're under the assumption that at some point in the future he will return to it. However, if he now wants to buy another 4 weeks at 25% discount, only at that point do we need any bank details from him whatsoever. This isn't a subscription model where we want your bank details up front, and if you forget to cancel, we start charging. It is not that model. This is a government funded program. So Dan's going to get another 4 weeks travel at 25% discount. At the end of that 4 weeks, he's going to get, if he wants it, he's going to get another 4 weeks at 25% discount.
Wow.
The idea being that this sort of migrates him fully into becoming a long time fare paying loyal passenger of the bus network, which is the desired outcome of the program, is to increase patronage and get more people travelling by public transport. So we dangle that carrot of 4 weeks free, come and get it, no strings attached. You can walk away at the end of it, but if you like it and you want more, you can have it at a discount. And at some point, yes, you're gonna move into the realms of being a sort of a full fare paying passenger.
And what is the generally the feedback you've had from since you started? What's been the general feedback of businesses who have gone through the program and used the program with you, like kind of as by way of follow up?
Well, if I put it in these terms, the program was due to finish in March 26, due to the funding that we had and the forecast that we'd put in place. Due to the success of the scheme and the outcomes of it to date, that funding has now been doubled and the scheme has been extended until March 27, so we can continue to deliver both here in the modal shift world, as it were, um, and over there in the excluded access groups of people that we get some really heartwarming stories, as you can imagine, from the excluded access, because we're really changing lives over there with the modal shift. Essentially, we're getting people just to switch their mode from car to bus rather. But in the excluded access, we're making sort of real difference to people's lives and their access to opportunities. Barriers to travel is often the barrier to opportunities, whether that's employment, attending important appointments and healthcare and all these sorts of things. So, and the percentage of people that are buying onwardly, i.e., not just sort of cut and run after 4 weeks, has been really, really impressive. Hence, the scheme has sort of been extended to the point that it has.
I think so. I've always met my auntie she's never driven and she knows every bus number of every route across the whole of Birmingham. If I'm driving down the road, she'll go, "Oh, the number 62, number 62 comes down this road, but you can get on the two and it goes to here and blah blah blah." She literally loves. But I think what I think we always forget is when you choose to go on the bus, it's a choice. And for those of us that have a car, it's a choice to whether you use your car or whether you go on the bus. And with global warming and sustainability, these are choices that we have to make now. So it's like we have to do what we can to be able to contribute to the environment that we live in. And so, and it can sometimes be more time because you don't realize how far it is to your nearest bus stop. But like you say, it's about the walking and the experience and getting people outside and just jumping in your car and going somewhere. So I think it's a really, really good way to start people. We're creatures of habits, aren't we? So to try and change habit is one of the most difficult things to do. But I can see with 6.6 million journeys, it's really starting to change people's habits and choices, which is fantastic. So it sounds like a brilliant program, Richard, and it's great. And I really hope that many of our members will reach out. Nicola, who has been putting some feedback in the chat for us to
I'm
share
just
with you
reading through
afterwards.
now.
Bless her. Thank you, Nicola. And what we'll do, the other question I just wanted to ask Richard was, I know you're West Midlands, but do you have counterparts in other parts of the country? Or is this very much a West Midlands trialed scheme?
Quick answer is no. Department for Transport, who we met with to sort of explain our model and the success behind it, they said, "Would you mind sharing this with other regional authorities so that they may or may not choose to implement it because the numbers have been, the uptake has been so good." So the other combined or regional authorities have received their funding and they may choose to deliver that in different ways. So it's not a lift and shift job where you can, go and knock on the door in Liverpool and say to them, "We want to jump on your bus scheme," because it won't look the same. It won't be the same
Right.
model. So
But
fortunately for us, we have it. But no, to my knowledge, it's not available in this model elsewhere. Yes.
No worries. No,
And
that's good to know.
the only other thing I would say because I'm conscious that we want to keep this as a short sort
Yeah.
of sound bite, is to say that the sign up process for the end users, the feedback on that is that it is very quick, slick, user friendly. We have sort of very little comeback from the organisation or the end user to say that the process is in any way sort of laborious. Again, 6.6 million journeys would tell you that all of those people have found it pretty easy to access their ticket and get up and running. But what I would say is on individual calls with interested parties, then I can take that up with your rewards and benefits managers and sustainability managers. And again, those are the three key people that will really want to talk to me in your organisation, and then we can talk through the mechanics from there. Really.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Richard, and for your partnership. We really appreciate it. And
Thank
also
you
a
too,
huge
Dan.
thank you to Nicola for sharing her feedback with us today. We look forward to sharing that with other members. So, and thank you for taking part in the programme, Nicola. We really appreciate it. And for
Thanks,
anyone
Nicola.
watching this recording back, I'll leave my contact details in the YouTube, in the information box on YouTube. Get in contact with me, and I will link you up with Richard directly. So then he knows he'll be able to talk to you directly about the program. So thank you so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.